for inviting me once again for a session on personality development for teachers. That is a 7 days faculty development program. And the topic is on team building and human. Last 2 decades in one of the autonomous colleges, and I've shifted to Christ University as an associate professor in computer science and engineering. So a lot of changes I could see from a self-financing college to an autonomous college and to an university. So today I would definitely like to share a lot of experience and experience as a teacher, as building a team, and also how to manage our resources. So let us first think about why we born on this earth. Actually, Earth, there are a lot of universe, and in a universe, Earth is one of the satellite, I'll say, and we are living here. We are going to live here only for once. But what we can do so that we can remember for forever, as we know, there are many people who have made their names to be remembered for forever by doing a lot of good works in education, in the field of other healthcare activities, and so many other things actually. And that way they are well recognized during their time, and they being remembered forever for their innovations and for their work, which we are using very much now. So, being on Earth, the most important thing is we need to live together and we need to respect each other. And that is the way to start with. And for that, something which is most important is to accept the nature. There are quite few things that we need to understand. The most important thing is natural acceptance. And a natural acceptance of our own, we basically study these things in a universal human values, and it definitely make a sense for being a teacher, uh, in a team of uh, teachers, and finally to utilize the resources that we have in a best efficient way. So the very first thing that we have to look into is ourselves. We need to know what we are actually, and to understand that we need to balance ourselves with self and the body. And when we say body, it is a physical existence of a human on the earth. And what are the different requirements of our body? Uh, will tell you, will give a more emphasis uh, route map for being self. And once we are here physically, and as we know that we cannot survive by self until there are people around us. You've been thrown on an island and you are asked to survive. It is quite difficult actually, until unless you don't have that skill to survive in that environment. Now, for that, there happens. It is important that we should have people around us, and for the same reason, as we move forward in our life, the first thing that uh, we take into part as part of the education is being a student. So we become a student, and we create a lot of friends, and we then have a lot of colleagues when we become a teacher. And we talk about family, we respect, we give values to our family, and being in the family, being as a teacher, uh, being part of the students, and having a lot of friends, we try to move to a society. Then to a society, we'll try to do something for the society which people will remember forever. And when we do something good for the society, and which are sort of innovations, which are sort of maybe the things that which is required which sustain for long, will definitely help the nature also to exist for long. And this way, to be to for our existence, it is important that we should have all this in our life till we live. And the first thing that comes up is the parental care. When we start our journey, the very first thing is the parental care. And we got our individuality from there. We learn the basics. We learn to eat, we learn to walk, we learn to run, we learn to read, we learn to speak and talk. It all starts from the parental care. So our individuality basically starts from the parental care, and therefore thereafter act we start educating ourselves. We want to be in the society, we want to be with people around us, and for that we need to get educated very well. And once education doesn't means that uh, that just learning something, but it is about the knowledge. It is about the freedom to acquire knowledge in every field. And once we acquire this knowledge, we need to practice it. It's not just about acquiring knowledge, but to practice it, to be very skilled, too much skilled. When you are skilled, and if you have knowledge and you are skilled, you will be acquired anyway. So that way we have to skill up. So today, my presentations will be around three things. One is what will be the quality of a good teacher, what a teacher should, what kind of qualities, what kind of attributes a teacher should have to have a very good personality. The second thing is about how to build a good team. And the third thing is how to manage the resources that you have. And for that, someone who can help is not me basically, but it is the person that you yourself. When you look at a mirror, you are the only person who can change yourself and have a good quality in you and have a very good personality as well. So for that, there are a lot of ways that we can do it. As a teacher, the very first thing that I personally feel is when you are in the crowd, you will with your smile, because see, the smile is the only way to reduce the distance between two people. So that's quite important thing. So if you cannot keep on making enemies around you, when you are talking to somebody, the very first thing, facial visual expression should be your smile. When you walk, when you are entering a class, when you're talking to your colleague, when you're talking to your parents, something that creates an energy, a bond, a relation between two people is this smile, and that we should have. So this is the first characteristic of this is the first attribute that we all should have. Moving forward, as age progresses, uh, it is true that our sense organs deteriorates, but it is not just because of the aging factor, but it is also because of the factor that we don't care about our sense organs. And if our sense organs are not really good, being into any of the professions, it won't be worth it won't give you a successful output. So the best thing, so the most important thing is we should look into we should take care of ourselves. We should ensure that all our sense organs are working fine. For that, we should take utmost care. Like we should sleep on time. We should not watch too much of TV or mobiles to take care of your eyes, and definitely we should not give much stress to our ears. We should not taste different uh, items which is not permitted, like alcohols and other things. Now that way, basically, we need to take care of our sense organs. We know people. There are so many people, even at the age of 80s, their sense organs works really fine. They don't need spectacles and other things. So the for an individual to be live around in the crowd, the most important thing is to make sure that the sense organs working really fine. Yeah, that's all about our fitness. So our fitness is important. So if your sense organ is working fine, your food habit is good, you're drinking enough water, you're sleeping well, then definitely you'll be fit. So as a teacher, what we see, we the attributes that we look for is our words, our actions, and our thoughts, the characters, and the heart. So how we are. what kind of words we are using when we are doing a communication, what actions we perform. We say certain things, but our actions basically are different. What kind of thought we have on a different on a different problem statement, and what is the character that we have when we are in the crowd, and in what way we take decisions is through mind or through our heart. All these things matters for a teacher. So being a teacher, our first job is to uh, train our students. So as soon as we enter our class, some of the qualities that every teacher should have is the approach. The first characteristics I personally feel is the approach. As I already mentioned, when we approach with a smile, there will be equally same reactions. So whenever you are entering to a class, the most important thing is keep away all the negative things that might have happened before or a day before or whatever, and get in. And at the same time, try to create an environment in the class in such a way that the students also forget about their negative things. So this is the first thing that we have to do. And for this, the first thing that we should follow is a big smile. Second thing is, the second most important thing is our body language. And the body language definitely matters. Our personality is being recognized with our body language. The way we stand, the way we should see people, the way we walk, the way we talk, all these things matter because students, because you are standing on a platform, there's 60 or 100 or 120 students who are watching you. So this is important that when you are in the class or anywhere, anytime, your body language should be clean. Next most important thing is the dressing. One very good thing that I've seen in many colleges is they have the uniforms or they have the attire which is well defined, and students follows it very well, and that makes the campus also look very good. I mean, neat and clean. The classroom, like when they enter the class, they all look good. You also feel a kind of 100% to your teaching at that time, and not only for the students but for us also, our appearance also. As I already mentioned that these are the students who are watching you, so they watch you, not only your body language, your approaches, but also your dressing sense. So that also definitely matters. So we should have a good dressing sense when we are around in the class, or we are around in a meeting, or when we are around for an official works. The next most important thing is the communication. So how well you communicate this. If you communicate well, uh, there will be a response. But if you don't communicate well, there will be reactions. So it is always indeed important to learn, understand about these two words. One is react, and the second one is reaction, react and respond. So if a person is reacting, the it is it is also known to be aggression or arrogance. But when we say you are responding, it means that you are understanding the matter and you are giving a solution in a better way. So we need to communicate well to our students in such a way that they feel feel that you are there, you are looking into their problems, and they should come to you. During the course of our teaching, one thing that give a kind of attentions to the students is our humor, and humor cannot be developed as such. It all comes based on the experience only. So when you're taking a class, and if you get completely out because of some of the students who might be sleeping all the time in the class or not listening to you, and and somebody doesn't do their assignments on time, there are many people, actually many teachers, who don't know how to handle those situations. So what they do is, instead of responding to that situation, they react. And when they react, students completely, either they will completely detach from the class, or they won't feel to come to your class, they bunk your class, they stay away from you. And that doesn't create a that doesn't really create a kind of connection. So in order to create that connection, the most important thing is, even if you are even if you're scolding someone in the class, it should be in a humorous way, that he should not feel insult. It proper response rather a reaction. Another thing, as a teacher, the most important thing is the commitment. We being a teacher, our commitment is important. We are taking a course. We had a course plan. We take the courses. We try to finish everything in rush, and ultimately we understand that half of the students understood the entire content of the course, but we are not sure. We don't try to look into those people who were sleeping during those classes. We never call them up, and we never sometimes bother about them also. See, every individual students, they have their capabilities. It is all because of their because of the situations that they have passed through, maybe during their school days, wherein in some of the schools the topics were taken very well. In some of the schools, the topics were even not taken. So with that respect, most of the students, the fundamentals are not good also. So we, as a teacher, when we take a class, we should ensure that we start from a basic. We take any topic at a higher level. We should make them understand the basic first, and then we move to the next level. So commitment comes from your responsibility to ensure that each and every student in your class, whatever subject you are teaching, it is getting into them very much. So that is a quite important thing. Apart from a commitment to your responsibility towards teaching part, the another aspect is mentoring. Not all students are from same family. They are from different family, different culture. They might be going through different situations, which may be good or sometimes bad. And for that, we definitely need a mentor, because they are in a teen age, they are in a growing age, in a hot blood age. And when they are in a hot blood age, to make a decision what is good and what is bad, it is quite difficult for them. So yeah, indeed, mentoring for the teacher make a sense in that scenario. And men, men- so mentoring the students uh, become a part of the teaching learning process as well, because mentoring gives you an idea that in your class how many students learn things slowly, how many students learn things very fast, and what are the remedial measures that you can take for those students who learn things slow. Apart from this, we feel that finishing up a particular course based on the course plan in a appropriate time, we feel that our work is done and we have finished with our commitment. No, not at all. The every day when we go, we take class, we should have a feedback system. Every next day when we go, very first 5 minutes, we should have a question answer. We should have a recap of what we have taught in the previous class. And at the end of that particular session, and at the end of that particular class, we should have a feedback also. We do have feedback system in many of the universities, in private colleges, autonomous colleges, wherein students basically hesitate to give a feedback. The best thing is to take a feedback directly from the students, and try to understand the different learning capabilities of each of these students. So feedback matters, and that is the best way to get connect to them in terms of imparting knowledge to them. So it is all about a teacher's relations with the students. So how you can grow in terms of your personality by all these attributes in a working environment wherein you being a teacher. So I was mentioning about all these attributes, but one attribute which contributes a lot to a student in our life is basically is a non-verbal communication, which is also known as our body language. As mentioned that our appearance is it is the first thing that need to be considered in our life. So our personality basically reflects from the appearance. So we need to be very tidy, and we have to ensure that whatever dress that we wear, it suits us, and it fits us as well. And then the second is the posture, the way we sit, the way we stand, and the way we basically make actions to demonstrate something. It also matters. So suppose you are sitting in a cabin, a student is entering to a cabin, and you are sitting with your legs up on another chair. That gives a basically a wrong impression about the posture. And not only that, when you're taking classes, and when you're taking classes, the posture, your postures, when you're moving from one place to one position to another position, the way you walk, the way you make use of your actuators like your hands uh, in order to explain certain things, it definitely makes sense. The next thing is the way we talk. So when we talk, uh, even when we read actually, so suppose you assign a student to read a paragraph, and if there is no proper pause, you will find it as a kind of somebody as if they are singing without proper giving proper stress to a particular sentence, and that won't give you a continuity of understanding of these sentences. So whenever we are taking classes, we need to ensure that whatever we are delivering, it should be in a proper manner with a prop. It should be with a proper pause, and there should be a proper modulation of the voice for each of the sentences that you are telling for, you are saying it for your course content. Then the next thing is, as I mentioned, is the sound also. Sound also. And when we talk about the sound, the modulation matters. If we are in one single space, nobody will like us, or nobody will like our lecture. So we should modulate our sound, with our content in such a way that people will understand it well. Then the other way is the normal non-verbal method is like when you meet somebody, when you meet somebody, you should always read. And also, our hand should be firm, and we should shake it properly. It should not be loose also anytime. And for men, it is advisable that the handshake should not be initiated by men towards women first. But for boys and boys, it should be. Girls and girls, it should be. But it is always it is a professional ethics like a lady basically. They do when they then our facial expression also matters when you are in a class or when you are talking to your colleagues. When you make a facial expression which is negative most of the time, people won't like to talk to you, and none of the students will also ever try to talk to you or come to yours. And the eye movement, it really matters when you're talking to somebody, when you or we are attending an interview or talking to students in the class while taking a lecture. uh, you need to you need to look at subject, and if you're not looking at all to the students eyes or to students, and that actually shows that your knowledge for the subject is actually weak, or you are not confident to talk to your So these are the apart from
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Sir, your voice is breaking at times, sir.
Is it okay, madam? Hello.
Yeah, now it is fine, sir. But when
Ah, yes.
when you were
So
delivered the lecture, there was some.
so most of us basically know that visualization through visualization students or anybody could understand things very fast. So if you try to rate out with our sense organs, how effective is our understanding for a particular knowledge which is being shared by teachers or somebody else is basically is through the 75% is through sight actually, 13% is for the hearing it, next is 6% is for the by the touch, and 3% is basically is given to smell and taste. So any individual basically could grasp things by visualization. In computer science, what we say is, if we if you try to project your data uh, as a data set in a Excel table, which consists of say 100 rows of records and say around 50 attributes. So it's quite difficult for you to do a kind of analysis on that particular huge data set, that record actually, through your visual eyes. Actually. So what we do is we go for visualization tools. Actually, we make use of the different charts like bar chart, histograms, bubble charts. There's so many charts which actually we write code for that, and we get a visualization as we see right now on the screen. So that shows the kind of percentages as, with respect to the attributes, and reflects a clear idea about what that whole table, the data set want to reveal. Okay, so as an individual, I was talking about the personality of the teacher. As an individual, we all teacher want to grow like we all teacher want to grow fast, and for that, definitely that will happen, and but it happens slow, very slow, because as I mentioned earlier that you cannot achieve everything by yourself or with just your effort. Actually, it is about the people around you who are making you learn certain things towards your goal. It is about the resources that you are using to reach to that particular goal. So it's not just about you; it's about the people around you. So my advice is not to give up, because as an individual also, whenever you take a task, and if you're not able to uh, perform it well with your commitment, and if you at certain point of time if you fails, it doesn't mean that we should give up, because if we give up, then if we give up, that there won't be any life in ahead actually. So if we make a kind of personality wherein for every task that is given to us, maybe for teaching or maybe for the responsibility in the department, and if we are not able to do it, and every time you are giving up, uh, I personally say that uh, don't get up, because I already mentioned that it is not about just an individual effort. It is by because of the team. You can achieve a goal not just because of your effort, but just because of there is because of so many certain people who are also involved in achieving your goal. Okay, so that was all about the personality of a teacher. For a teacher to shine like anything, to achieve its goal, their goal, start from being a guest lecturer to lecturer to assistant professor, associate, then professor practice, becoming an HOD, then dean, and then your pro-vice chancellor and the chancellor. Uh, to come to that success level, uh, the effort that you are going to take is definitely is effort that you're going to take and moving towards a goal is supported definitely by the team. Okay, so the success of any organization, you all of you are working in different firms, and the success of these organization completely depends upon mm, certain things. First, I would like to say the work culture. So the organization work culture completely depends upon uh, the people who are working for the organization, and the management who are utilizing the resources for the uplifting the organization. So they are basically two important things. So let us talk about what do you mean by a good team, or how to build a good team. Being in the profession of this uh, academics for the past 2 decades, starting the journey from guest lecturer uh, to a position of head of the department at an administration level. Based on the experiences, what I would like to share is the team cannot be built in one day. It's not so easy. Actually. You being appointed, suppose you being a teacher, suddenly you being appointed as a head of the department. So how you are going to build that team? You are working with them, so many people for the past so many years. You actually know how easy to talk to one or other person. You know how efficient is one person than compared to other person. You know the individual capability also. Now, if you know others well, it is bit easy for you to develop a very good team. And get to develop a good team, suppose we talk in both the sense actually. We talk as a teacher, how to become a good team member, at the same time how to become a good leader. So first we talk about a good leader. To become a good leader and build a good team, the most important thing is to give equal value to every team members. We should not differentiate. We should never differentiate each of the team members on the basis of what do you say, on the basis of their education as such. Yeah, there are priorities, there are guidelines, definitely there are hierarchy that need to be maintained, and that is well known. So we are not talking about those things, but I want to talk about we should not differentiate them as a human. And so once we give a particular task, as suppose you are head of the department and you are giving a task to the team members, say suppose there are 10 members in the team, you're giving a task to organize a conference. You are well aware, because you suppose you are a new person, that you may not be well aware of who all people are capable to organize this. At the same time, you're already a member of the team, and then you become a head of the department. Then it is quite easy for you to uh, assign the task to the person who have done it earlier, or who have an experience or the capability to do it. So that is quite possible as a team leader. So when you are assigning the task to the team members of say 10, it is always important that we should call all of them together and conduct a meeting, whatever it is. A one-to-one conversation will never give a result, because we are looking for a common task. So if our common aim is to conduct an international conference, uh, it is important that everyone who is involved in that particular, who is there in the team, or the member of the department, as a faculty or the staff, they all should know each and everything about the conference. It should not be one-sided actually. It should not be like HOD is taking care of everything. It should not be you made a coordinator and the coordinator is looking after everything. So every meeting that you conduct to conduct an international conference, and all the tasks which subtasks under the conference need to be need to be defined well, and need to be addressed in the meeting, and need to be and should be allocated to the faculty members of the staff in the most appropriate way. So once you do it, once you do this, uh, the person who are capable in that particular domain or the task. Suppose, for example, someone is very good in doing publicity, so he have a lot of connections. So he can build up he can have the connections through them to whom he already have a connection, and through that he can make a network, and that way he can get a lot of proposals and lot of papers for the conference. So, so, so the thing is, don't try to being in head just to make a difference, or just since because you don't like somebody, you're assigning that person a task which he is not capable of. Because in one meeting, so the first thing that we always should do is ask for a volunteer. Being put the headings, ask for volunteer. The second thing is try to discuss, try to understand, and make sure, and with with the features of with the little features of the attributes that the person can do something about that particular task assigned. One more thing, as a leader, we should not be we should not be always talking to only few set of people. We should be live. We should talk to everybody day-to-day basis. We should always smile. We should give kind of good motivations to them for doing also even small things. We should always appreciate, because when we appreciate each other, then only we grow together. But if we don't appreciate each other, we won't be growing together. As I was mentioning that an organization work culture completely depends upon these factors. First, definitely, when they recruit people who runs the entire show, we call them teachers. So the most important thing is to develop a very good personality as a teacher. The second thing is to build a team. So I was talking about being head of the department as a leadership quality, and let us talk about what should be the quality of a team member. So team member plays an important role. So no one can become a leader, a true leader, without a team. As this image reflects, that even if I achieve everything in my career in say academics, in terms of innovation and research, in terms of good package as a salary, uh, nothing works out if I don't have a good team. Because if the team separates, if the team member separates, if there are differences, then the entire uh, your leadership uh, will never be recognized. You will be completely out from the leadership. It's a failure of the leadership. So to build a team, a leader need to understand each and every team members. At the same time, each team member also need to understand, keeping apart all the uh, differences, and always try to find out what are the good, what are the opportunities which another teacher can provide to me, or what are the opportunities that is known to me that I can share with other teachers, that so that they can also do. Because every individual in this particular profession, they grow based on certain criteria, and everyone, and as a teacher, we need to teach. At the same time, we need to uh, ensure that all these criteria to be fulfilled, and based on that only we get promoted as well. So why don't join hands to hand and work together, collaborate with each other in such a way that everyone will get recognized. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen that all 10 teachers, if you have all 10 teachers, every 10 teachers, they are going to teach the students in the same way. Everyone have their different way of teaching. Some may use digital equipment too much. Some may be using chalk and talk, some may be through visual slides, some may be through flip classes like talking, brainstorming. There are different ways. So we need to understand that every teacher, their approach and their progress, their growth, it is all different. Okay, so that defines them, that defines their characteristics, that defines their person. So what is common to all teachers is certain criteria that need to be fulfilled to get promotion to the level of vice chancellor or the chairman of the university to a greater height actually. So to achieve certain goals as a team member, the first thing is every team member, they should collaborate with each other, they should support each other, and they should always motivate each other. So whenever you see a faculty member in the morning, say suppose mentioned already is the greetings, the smile with a smile. The many teachers, they don't do it. The many teachers, they don't look students when they are out of the class. It is always being heard by students that since teachers don't look at them, they don't look back to teachers. So I used to tell I used to tell students that when they are not looking at, you have a mouth, you wish them loud, you'll get response. So one time it may not be, but the second time it will be noticed and you will be responding. So all of us, all teachers, they all have a different situations in their. So we cannot consider all of them to be same problem, give a solution for that. And if you have acquired a lot of skills, try to impart that skills to other faculty members also, so that they will also learn it and they will also pass it to their students. Because we are not going to exist in this on this earth not more than 100 years. Now our aging maximum goes to 70s, 70s. Why we are into an age where we have each and every facility in front of us? Suppose, as I was mentioning, if you've been thrown into an island where there are only trees, rocks, what are you going to do? You have to build you have to build a house. You have to do it all alone. Think about a scenario, the current scenario wherein this particular generation, if you see after 90s to 2000 and from 2000 onwards, in these 2 decades, 2000 to this 2024, these 2 decades, the kind of development has happened is like anything in terms of technology also is going to definitely provide something great, something big. And that something big is going to be helpful for the next set of people who will come and live for the next 100 years. So all the grievances, all the differences, being a team member or being a leader, if you just keep it apart, I'm telling you, the life will be smooth. Because I was mentioning, and it is like when you are on an earth, you're going to experience only two things. One is good things, and the second is the bad things. We know what all things that you do to get a good experience, and you also know what all things are bad things because of which you will get a bad experience. So why don't we live together as a team? So if we live together as a team, I'm telling you, we talk about Earth every day with the the increase in the population, the way the way we are polluting the environment, and slowly we can see the changes that is happening on Earth, and this is leading to think what is next. What if suppose, like us, we survive for 100 years, and what if suppose one of a sudden Earth also disappears, life on Earth disappears. All know that it's in a very right angle. The movement of an Earth around the sun, it is well defined, well in a very correct uh, angle. And what if suppose it goes out from that circle? Everything will be vanished. So now see this particular generation, this 20 years of generation, this 22 decades of people, they are even thinking about searching another planet in a universe where life is possible. So we are building up those things, and all this could definitely be done by the with a kind of team only, not all alone. Okay, just want to share a few more things, and it's about when you are in a workplace, there are a lot of things happens. Already you take a lot of sometimes the positive or the negative things from your home, and as soon as you enter to the campus, you have a work time, say for example 9 to 5, and so many things are there with you. You have to take care of the academics, administrations, research, and you have to deal with students in certain methods. There are a lot of examinations, and at the same time, sometimes if your health is good, everything goes well. If your health is not good, there will be always things which get impending. So when you are in a workplace, the first very important thing that you have to do is every day, every teacher should do is make a work plan of yours on that day. What has to be done and what has to be finished on that particular day. If something you are not able to finish it, is of the reason that you didn't get time can be finished on the next day. But when you make a plan that there are 10 things that I have to do, another thing that you have to do is give a priority, and that everyone should do. At certain point of time, there are different tasks which you may have to do parallelly. See, when such kind of thing happens, that means we are not able to make a proper decision to prioritize these tasks. In such scenarios, give a priority. Which one I have to do first? Okay, so this is about the academics. When we talk about the life, so as a team, in a team or in a family or relations, uh, it is it gives value to an individual person when that individual person ensure that what has to be done first. So there are certain things that you so ensure that what you do it by giving a proper priority. Self commitment or self-achievement, but also with the contribution by the team members for a goal through which the last topic, all about resource management. I was talking about the organizational work culture, which completely depends upon the people in the organization, the personality people in the organization, the leaders of the organization, and most importantly, the resources that need to be there for the completion of the success of any organization. organization. Uh, Human resource management plays an important role first. This is what we used to think always and so far, and it is also now. But now the intervention of the human resources also reduced, because all of you know now AI is taking a lead like anything. Developing various tools in AI in every sector, in every multidisciplinary areas. It is growing like anything, that most of the jobs wherein we required, wherein there were say 50 people are working, there now you required only say 5 or 10 people. The reason behind that is very simple. Most of the things got automated. We don't need any human intervention in those. Such tasks or the problems where the system itself makes sure and get we could easily validate that there will be big layoff which is happening all around. So what we should do to ensure our place, because we as a human being we don't really want to
Sir, excuse me, sir.
wait, madam. Hello, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Is it
Sir,
okay,
your
madam?
voice is breaking again.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
So
just check,
Wi-Fi
sir?
actually said me. Is it okay, madam? Yeah.
And now it is fine, sir.
Just check. Yeah. So 5 more minutes. So uh, when you talk about moving ahead actually, so this like when we were talking about the technology. So what is the solution in response to the layoff that is happening because of the AI in our life? So every gadgets that you see is Internet of things. Not now it is called as Internet of everything, and this is monitoring us more than our parent monitors used to monitor us in our young days. Okay, so what we should do actually, and because our kids are growing, they have to go through the formal education, and they, in order to build up their career, they have to acquire a lot of skills, and finally they have to reach to a place wherein they get good salary, good family life, and a good name. Is it so? With that it is over? Are we not going to make a building, or is AI which is going to make a building for us? Are we not going to make all the mechanical instruments that is around us, all the vehicles, or or the AI will build all these vehicles by itself? Are we giving human life We are handing over our human life to the technology which is called as AI, artificial intelligence. No, the solution is, if I look into this, I feel that the very good solution is uh, everybody, everybody should learn and know what it is. See, when you don't, when we cross a 40, we are in an industry, when you cross 40 or 50, you don't feel to actually study new technologies. And for the teachers also, it is like that. Now you'll find that in most of the autonomous colleges or in the universities, the curriculum changes every year. It is not like 4 years or 5 years. The time is demanding that every year the curriculum should change continuously and it should be fast, and it should be with respect to the newer technology which is coming. If we still say that for a particular engineering course, we need to learn those core subjects, then only we can move forward. No, it is not like that. That could be a part of your part or a module of a newer technology subjects. So it is again, I'll say it is again that uh, the resources that we have now that need to be managed in such a way that every students or the faculty or the people who are working in an industry should acquire this knowledge. If they acquire this knowledge and skill, yeah, the places where the automation is required, that is required. But there are a lot of places where the automation is not required as such. In such places, your intervention, you are in need. And if we keep on learning these new things, no wonder that not only on the earth, but on another planet also, you can create life. It's just a matter of fact that in this 20 years, we are the generation who should be very happy that we could see these technologies, which the people who's just survived up to say 30 years back or 100 years back, they could not have seen. But the origin of all this technology is with the inventions of certain many things in science by the people uh, who have invented long back. We are making use of the same theory, we are making use of the same laws, we are creating new theory, and we are creating new laws. So a proper resource management will definitely lead to a proper growth in the organization, a proper growth in the team, and definitely it leads to a success. One last example I just want to quote is, we do our education, we schooling, and then we do graduation, post graduations, we do PhD, doctorates, and again PDF. We do a lot of research, and when we go for a job, you will always find a person who is appointed for recruiting you. We call it HR, human resource, and they are the people who have kind of they should be the best people who should find out the best person for their institutions. And every uh, every academic year or a next year, I mean, there is always a budget. There is always a budget for an organization. And when that recruitment happens, they have to fit it into that budget. And that is the most important thing. And they do it very wisely in order to get the most efficient people in their organization, ensure that they have satisfied with all the provisions that they it is give, which is given to them, the package that is given to them, and so many certain facilities that is given to them. And this actually is the final takeaway I just want to give it to all of you is when we do management, we need to understand the resources that we have. We need to know the identified how we need to plan in such a way that these resources would be allocated in the best way. And once it is allocated, there should be a proper communication and cooperations, and there should be proper feedback, or I'll say the performance monitoring also to ensure the success of any organization. So with this, with the last slide, I would like to conclude that as an individual on the earth, you being in a team, you being a leader, one thing never forget that please don't expect everyone to understand your journey. We all have our individual journeys, and especially if they have never had to walk your path. That means a person who is sitting next to you, adjacent to you, will never know what you are going to do next, and you never know what is going to be what is going to happen in his life or what is his goal. With this, I would like to conclude. I would like to thank each one of you for patiently listening to me, the experience that I've shared. Thank you so much.